Hello everyone, this is Manizoa from ManiFx.net, and I'm happy to bring you to another tutorial. This tutorial is about understanding the signals, understanding the nature of the trend, and the whole understanding of when you should enter, when you should exit, and then I'm also elaborating more on avoiding wrong signals. Okay, so first things first, regarding with the arrows, which actually give us the signals to buy or to sell. The pink arrows are the arrows for selling, and the blue arrows are the arrows for buying. As also you can see the Renko bars. In fact, blue means bullish, and pink bars means bearish. So as just I said in the former tutorials that you buy once you get you buy once you have the blue arrow plus the fractal, because the fractal confirms that now you can buy, as well as you sell, you exit your buy position once you get the pink arrow, and then you will sell once you get the pink arrow is going to be there, but you're going to confirm with the fractal, then only you sell. As simple as that. Do not start selling if the fractal has not appeared, or do not start buying if the fractal has not appeared, because the fractal for us confirms an entry, and then the opposite arrow will actually give you an exit. So you exit once you get the opposite arrow, as simple as that. And then the other thing now I'm going to talk about more regarding the regression channel, which is the key point of determining our trend, avoiding wrong entries, because what I'm about to show you that sometimes we tend to enter the wrong entries simply because we have not understood the regression channel. And then the other thing is that what I'm about to show you, I have adjusted the regression channel in order to avoid some entries which actually seem to be wrong entries. And then sometimes maybe you get an arrow of buying, and then you get a fractal, but at the end of the day the market goes against you. So that's what is the key point that I'm going to focus on right now, so that we're not going to face the same challenge in the near future. Okay. So previously the regression channel was just like this, and in fact I put at the period of 400. And then the other thing is that as I just pointed before, that the market the market in normal cases will go between the the red zone of the overbought zone, which is the red zone, as well as oversold zone, which is the red zone at the bottom of the regression channel. So there were some times I was getting I was getting into wrong entries, whereby I ended up buying, but the market goes against me. And then I was wondering, okay, my signals are correct and all that, but what could really be wrong? What could really be wrong was the trend. So at the end of the day, probably the trend was keeping going down, but I was ending what I was doing, I was buying. So which was actually a big mistake. And the other way around, maybe I was selling, but at the end of the day the market was maybe continuing buying. So I started focusing more on a regression channel. Okay, because the other thing is that I adjusted the arrows in a way that they had to go end to end and all that. So this is what I did. Right click to the indicators list, and then this is my regression channel. The indicators are exactly the same. We have the support and resistance, the Fury and forecast, which actually tells us the future of the move, and then we have the fractals, these white diamond things, and then regression channel, this one. and then the reversal arrow signal, which are the pink arrows and the blue arrows. Okay, so coming to the regression channel, this is what ended up giving me the best results or the overview of my trend. First of all, I reduced the period from 400 to a minute to 240. 240 is equivalent to 4 hours. And then this was the magic. The regression degree, in fact, I put it to 1, but I put it to 2, and then see what happens. Let me click OK. Booyah, there you go. Okay, now the regression channel, what it does, in fact, it creates a certain shape whereby it points out, for instance, at this point, it points out that this is the curve now. It means that it is now going into the buy direction. As you can see that it prolongs going up. Okay, and then as you can see that from this point where it came, it touched the red zone at oversold state, it went up and touched the overbought zone. As you can see that this actually turned into turn-caught resistance. In fact, the word turn-caught resistance or support, it means that it, let's say turn-caught resistance, it was the previous support, as well as the turn-caught support, it was previous resistance. Okay, so you can see now the shape of the shape of the trend right now. It means that after curving up like this, it means that this was a point that it was going in the upward direction. And as you can see that we have already got the signal here, and then it means that even if it retrace, it won't retrace much, and then it will continue going up until probably the shape of the trend changes. Okay, so this is the magic behind right now. It means that from now on, let's say previously this is what we had. Let me just show you. Okay, regression channel. Okay, I kept at 400, and then the regression degree I kept it at 1. Oh no. This is what I put before. Now I kept it at 0, remember. Let me see. Okay, so as you can see that it was actually going end to end, but let's say it came from the red zone, and then it rests a bit for retracement at the middle line, which is actually normally in Fibonacci it is a 6.18 zone, or it's the the golden ratio zone. And then it went back, and then it retraced again at the golden ratio zone, and then it retraces back and all that. But at the end of the day, is that it does not really show you the overall move of the trend. So when you go back to the original template, so you can see that in fact, even if it retraces at this point after getting the signal, it means that it will just capture somewhere here, and then at the red zone, and then it will continue to go up. So this is among the things that really changed the way of seeing the trend, and avoid having some misleading signals, or ended up having let's say you go into sell, and then you think it's going to be going to a bit long term, but it ended up going up again. Okay, so this is one of the factor. And then with regard to the same understanding of the of the shape of the regression channel. Now look at this. This is GBP JPY, and then for instance, if I had the previous regression channel, it means at this point I will actually go buy. But look at the shape of the regression channel. So the shape of the regression channel actually tells me that I cannot buy at any point, because the market will keep going down, because I mean, as you can see, the shape of my regression channel, that really says the market is going down. And the narrower you see the regression channel becomes, it means that the market will keep going in that direction. If we just zoom out, you can just see that how sometimes, let's say you don't see the arrows, what you need to do, you just need to zoom out a bit, and then you'll see your signals well. Okay, but this time I kept, in fact, the arrows being big. Okay, so this is a good example that, let's say if we had the old version of regression channel, okay, maybe I would say that maybe I would go buy and then maybe it will go down. But let me see if I kept it at 400, and look what we have here. Okay, so it means that maybe I thought I would have much more of space to go and buy and come up, I can come back. But coming to my current template, this is a clear sign that it is a bit dangerous to buy at this moment, even if we got the signal. So at the end of the day is that this is the one of the advancement that I did in the system, whereby you are now not going to get wrong signals, in a way that so long as the shape of the regression channel, where does it point? Does it point down? And if it becomes narrower, it means that it is more dangerous to go into buy position at this moment. Until it is better to go and buy position unless you get a shape like this, which actually says that now now the trend is actually curving, and curving to reach a point whereby it can no longer go down, and in fact right now it is starting going up. And then let me go to another example here. This is a GBP card, and then look at this one. So the market in fact came down here, it touched down, and then at the end of the day is that from this point, and then it went up. And then look at the curve of the regression channel. It tells us vividly that the trend right now, in fact, it is already touched down, and then it is now on the way up. Okay, so this is the point where at this point I cannot say that I'm going to sell at any point. Let me just look at the previous regression channel. You see that, of course, it tells me that now it is going to sell, and then it points here, and then it's going down. But this is the this is the best explanation of how my trend is going to go. So in fact, from this point I will just keep on getting into buy until I get a pink arrow, of course, and then if it retraces, it means that it's going just to touch here, and then it's going to go up until the shape of the regression channel changes in order to accommodate a new trend. Okay, so let's say that this trend suddenly starts suddenly starts going down. It means that this curve, which actually is curved downward, in fact it will reach a point whereby the shape will now be in the form of N, because now an upward move in fact is in the form of U, and then when the market starts going down, it's going to be in the form of N. Okay, so and then from that moment it means that we will consider only the sell positions. Okay, so this is the point whereby by just looking at the regression channel, you will understand that what kind of positions that you should consider. And then, as I explained here in GBP JPY, it is a bit dangerous to take a buy position at this point, because even from 31st of July the market kept on going down. So even if we get a signal here and then we say that we go up, actually at the end of the day the market will go down again, because the market is dynamic. And then, as I pointed out to some people that who bought my system, is that you should understand one thing, is that the market is not static, in a way that once you just get an arrow, it means that all the sellers they turn into buyers. No, sometimes it will take time until the market adjusts itself for another move in the opposite direction. Okay, but the key thing is that you should understand that the arrows actually give you a clue on when you should exit or when you should start entering. But along with the regression channel, it tells you that even if you get a buy position, is it safe to go in that buy position due to the shape of the regression channel? So at this point is that it is unsafe to go into buy position, because as you can see, the regression channel in fact keeps pointing down. So this is a way that we are going to avoid the misleading signals. Okay, I hope you really understood right now. So as a signal that from now, maybe in a GBP USD, I can take a buy position at this point, because my regression channel in fact is just pointing up. Okay, it means that we are now just in the shape of U, whereby it just shows that right now we can just now turn into the buy position, and I've already got the buy signal here with the fractal, so we started going up. Okay, I hope you understood, and in case of any problem you get, you can always contact us on my website at manifx.net, as it shows here, manifx.net, and you can download our system, and then so long as you email me at georenko@manifx.net, it's a GEORENKO at manifx.net, and I will always get back to you, and I can explain further. And even if you want to have one-on-one session with me, I'll be glad to help you. Thank you very much, and this is ManiFx. You can always reach me, and you can always have my system.